The iconism and just sheer gorgeousness that windmills bring to the British countryside is unlike much else that my beloved rural Britain has to offer. But before we tell this story, I want to just give you a patronising school lesson and establish the difference between windmills and the oh so common post mill that you see so often in British villages. Come on, take a seat. So a windmill is the umbrella term, the broader term, to describe anything that harnesses the power of wind to do anything from grinding grain, pumping water or generating energy. They come in different designs like post mills, water mills, tower mills, so on and so forth, each coming with their own distinct characteristics or features. Exactly. Whereas the windmill is the broader term, a post mill is a type of windmill, but its character is different to other mills because the entire body, housing all the machinery, is attached to just one sturdy single post in the middle. This one post then allows the sails to pivot and rotate according to wherever the breeze is coming from, to allow it to capture it and use it most effectively. The post mill is also one of the earliest types of windmill in Britain, dating back to at least the 12th century. In medieval Britain, windmills were the lifeblood of rural communities. Mostly built to grind grain into flour and then wheat and barley into bread, there really would be the difference between a healthy, sustained community and one that isn't so much. For this reason, villages all had to have a local mill, and therefore the local miller was a key figure in the community, sometimes loved, sometimes mistrusted for shortchanging on flour. That'll be me, guilty. But not just grinding flour and making bread, they were versatile. They would pump water, or they ground seeds into oils. They really were the versatile workhorses of our countryside. Normally built privately by local lords with already deep pockets from their feudal income. Post mills like this, okay, I grant you, they were built to grind grain, but also because they were an additional source of guaranteed income. See, I'm a believer in free enterprise, and if you're entrepreneurial enough to build something as splendid as this, good luck to you. But not so much when I tell you that villagers were obliged to use their local squire's mill. And if they didn't, they faced fines or penalties, even if they wanted to go and use a different one that may have been cheaper or more efficient. It's a bit wrong. And come to think of it, it's probably where the petty quarrels that English village life is so known for first arose from. Well done. You caused this. Are you proud? I hope so. Makes me sick. In East Anglia, where we are now, our flat and windy horizon was perfect for wind power. So that's why, if you come here, they're dotted around the horizon like they're going out of fashion, shaping the identity of towns and generating a nice bit of income for the local economy in the process. Not bad. In fact, by the 18th century, Kent alone boasted over 400 windmills, with places like Deal and Sandwich having half a dozen each. In fact, legend has it, those places made a deal to build windmills in exchange for a sandwich. Do you like it? Oh, maybe I'll have to investigate that for another video. Food for thought, if you pardon the pun. Oh, I should do comedy. I'm wasted doing this rubbish. What am I doing? Then came the Industrial Revolution, which changed everything. By the 19th century, steam-powered mills and mass production rapidly began to outpace traditional windmills, so many fell into disrepair or were simply abandoned as rural communities opted for the cheaper, faster and more efficient methods of production. And to be honest with you, I'd love to blame them, but I can't. Yet, some windmills adapted, with innovations like William Cubitt's 1807 patent sails, which automatically adjusted to the wind speed, keeping them competitive for a brief period of time. However, sooner or later, the inevitable would happen. It's bad news. Today, sadly, only a fraction of the post mills that Britain ever had are still standing, and even fewer of those are still functional. However, many have evolved. Though they're not used to grind grain and whatnot these days, local cultural societies have renovated them and are maintaining them to become museums or heritage sites, because locals and tourists alike still love seeing these beautiful monuments. However, even this one here in Thaxted in Essex is beautiful, but it is in a tired state. It's undeniable. And they do rely on generous donations from the local heritage fund and things like that. So if you have a few bob going spare, maybe a couple of quid, then maybe I can put a link in the description. Oh, you'll donate. Wonderful. 100 quid? £1,000? That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. He's donated £1,000, everybody. Well, would you just look at that? I honestly feel like I've stepped into a painting of some sort. Funny I should say that. Windmills aren't just practical. Oh no. They've inspired the finest calibre of artists as well. And seeing their raw beauty in a flesh like this, it doesn't do it justice. But it's easy to see why, certainly on a gorgeous sunny day like this one. Ever heard of Rembrandt, Monet, Van Gogh? A cute little mill has inserted its way into a painting or two of each one of theirs. Ever heard of them, have you? Of course you haven't. Philistine. Today, even though they take a bloody battering from the weather, and many are struggling to be maintained due to a lack of funding or volunteers and things like that, there are calls by some political commentators to us to revert back to the pre-industrial age, where we utilised them as villages to uphold and sustain everyday life. However, we all are such greedy buggers now, eating and consuming everything in sight. I do find myself asking, can they keep up with demand? No, probably not. Still, you never know. Stranger things have happened, so give it a few years, we shall see. It would be quite nice, and the fact that they can inspire people to this day to have such ambitious thoughts, it does ring true to how influential they have been to rural Britain. Thanks for watching.